Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
Dumalang Isan Bonani, and welcome to the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, channel 500 on Starset. To all our Facebook viewers as well, we see you and we really appreciate you. It is at Galaxy Universal Network on all our social media platforms. Do leave all your comments right there on all the stories that we have. Now, of course, RORISANG, and I am not alone. Kinale Abuti wa MBELE Mona Eling Harmony, Mr. Voice himself.
Yes, I mean, you always, I feel like there is I don't want to call it an upgrade, but there's always something that you do every single show when you're about to be like, hey Jab, ayo, are you alive? Are you there? But hey, thank you very much for joining us right here on Midday Express. And my name is Harmony MBELE. Lupele khulu nontando dlambulo ulanga lokulungombi ithombigazo sompiso ndaba ezithi kanjalo nje sithi singene shiqi right here on Midday Express. We'll bring you all the latest news and headlines. So what do we have for the people today?
So today, I am even tempted to sing A,
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J,
okay,
K,
Sharp. We don't do all 26. But as we know, today we are actually celebrating World Teachers Day.
And on that note, that's why I wanted to continue, just to showcase that my teachers taught me well.
They taught us well.
Yeah.
And that's why we can, speak properly the way that we do today.
Really? Okay.
Because of our teachers.
But we take a look at your next headline is Gautrain workers on strike.
And then also now looking at our African stories, Egypt discovers ancient coffins with mummies inside.
Wait, mothers?
No, mummies. Those
what?
Mummies.
Oh, from
people wrapped up, yes.
Oh wow. And take a look at our international stories. A black woman to lead Canada.
I'm so excited about that.
That's a big one.
That is a really, really big one. And then, of course, in our in-studio guest today, we are joined by Dash Hesh, who is a hip-hop artist right there, and is going to be telling us all about his amazing work that he does.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for that conversation. And he doesn't even look hip-hop.
Yes.
That's the thing. He doesn't even look like what you'd imagine when you hear hip-hop. But I guess that's another conversation that we're going to get into and really get to find the dynamics around his image, his brand, his mindset too, because he's a very Sulubatin philosophical guy.
Yeah.
I'd like to get into that.
Let's get into that a little
absolutely.
bit. Now, just looking at our first story for today. Now, as we know, today is #World Teachers Day. Now, we all need to take a moment to appreciate all our teachers right there, especially in this challenging time. As we know, students and parents, we recognize your incredible services now more than ever.
Yes.
Now, they are also urged to work together to reopen the classrooms safely and to get back to the learning. Now, World Teachers Day, also known as International Teachers Day, is an international day held annually on the 5th of October. Now, it was established in 1994, and it commemorates the signing of the 1966 UNESCO and ILO recommendation concerning the status of teachers.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That is an amazing one. And I think celebrating our teachers in such a beautiful way, and it's happening globally. Yes. It's not only in South Africa, it's not only happening in bits and parts of the world, but it's everywhere. But let us take a look at how they actually, because there's a child that is reading out loud, and so that he's showcasing what he's been taught by these amazing teachers across the world. Oh man, that was so beautiful. Teachers celebrating themselves and the learners are actually watching, just them playing around. And that's another fun thing that I was actually watching the video and I realized that most of our teachers have hidden talents.
Yes, and I think unfortunately sometimes when we are in the classroom and when they're strict, we actually forget that they're also human beings that are actually fun outside the classroom.
And it's so organic to just see them in like playful mode, rather than always them, where's your assignment? Did you get that done? Keep quiet, do that. And it's like, it's so peaceful to also see that they are parents too. They can play, they can have fun, they can let loose. And it's such a beautiful image that we just seen from the teachers, just dancing around.
And I think we are all what we are because of teachers, like your doctors, your engineers, us, everybody, you know, what's all in the hands of the teachers. And they play such a significant role in everybody's lives. And I think actually they should be celebrated every day, not just today, every single day. And I really think, especially now during these trying times, with everything that they've been doing. But we actually have a teacher
on the line.
On the line we're going to be talking to, and they're going to be telling us about what World Teachers Day actually means to them. And especially during these COVID-19 times. Hello, Ntati. Thank you so much for joining us on the Midday Express today.
Hello.
How are you, Ntati?
I'm fine, thanks, and how are you?
We are fantastic. Well, let's get right into it. Take me through you being a teacher. Where are you teaching? What subject are you teaching? What grade are you teaching? Just the beauty of what you do.
Okay, thank you for inviting me to your show. My name is Portia Ntati Kaba. I'm a teacher. I'm currently teaching grade 11 and grade 10 geography in a small town in Free State, Gestel.
Oh, wow.
That's so beautiful. I think I must commend you, number one, for actually going into a rural area to teach, rather. And then now, so just walk me through, you are very young, right? What led you to actually now pursue a career in education?
Being a teacher, a good thing about it, it's you learn while you're teaching. You learn a lot of things while teaching that you didn't even know that you know. And the other thing that I like is you become a mentor or a role model to young people, because they see you as this young teacher, and they also want to be young teachers or young people achieving things. I think that's the most fun about it. It's being a mentor to young people.
That's amazing.
And I think it also being a role model to the learners, to all the young girls, young boys. But what has been the greatest moment of you being a teacher at this point, teaching grade 10s and grade 11s, and also teaching geography within FET?
The most joyous part is seeing my learners pass. That's the only thing, because that's the only thing that I'm doing is to getting product. Product is getting them to pass, going to the next grade, falling in love with geography, falling in love with the nature. So I get excited because I see my work, it's being done.
So I want us to talk, especially now during those COVID-19 times, we know that it has affected the academic year. Now just tell me how it has been for you as a teacher and also for your learners.
Yeah, I think it has been difficult. First of all, we're not used to wearing masks. We're not used to teaching wearing masks, or let alone learners wearing masks, because sometimes it gets disruptive. We end up having more classes than we had, and there's a shortage of teachers, very shortage of teachers. So, like, it's tough. I can say it's tough because we are learning new ways of teaching. We implementing new ways of teaching we didn't know about. So it's
but you're still soldiering on.
Yes.
You're still soldiering on, and we really commend you for all the incredible work that you're doing as teachers.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
any last question, how many people?
I think for me, I think the greatest one is how do you deal with those troublesome learners that you come across? I mean, grade 10 and grade 11, they already think they've grown. They know everything. As we're celebrating teachers, what is that one thing that you find very like, these learners are testing me today?
Yeah, they sometimes you'll teach and they'll be making their jokes there at the back. I'll just ask them, let's share the joke. Stand up and share the joke, and they'll get embarrassed. That's how you deal with them.
Oh man, thank you.
But all the best for the rest of the academic year, Ntati, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing for all our learners. And yeah, we'll see them pass through with flying colors just because of you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we actually have a video right there of Banyaza Lusufi just briefly just talking about celebrating all our teachers and also now just talking on, unfortunately, all the fallen soldiers as well. Let's just have a look.
Thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to firstly congratulate all our educators for saving the academic year. You are quite aware that we had a serious challenge of COVID, but teachers stood the ground and ensured that the academic year is saved. Secondly, we want to congratulate and thank all the educators that were at the forefront of ensuring that they provide support to our learners and ensure that there's social distancing, they could be in a position to sanitize, but most importantly, they could be in a position to provide them with proper education. On this day, the 5th of October, it's known as International Day to honor all our educators. So I want to take this opportunity to honor them, thank them, and also reaffirm the most important statement, that there's no profession that can give birth to other professions without teachers. So teachers remain the people that gave us the necessary support, but most importantly, teachers remain the people that gave birth to all professions, and for that we salute them. I also want to thank them for doing whatever that they have to do in their own style, in their own method, but most importantly, in their own character. When you see little ones singing, dancing, when you see bigger ones writing and celebrating, all this can only be achieved because there was a teacher. So to all our teachers, I wish you well, congratulations, and enjoy the International Day on the 5th of October. That day belongs to you. If you have to go home, I gave you permission to go home the entire day. Thank you.
Ah, man, what a beautiful one, celebrating our teachers, and Lusufi speaking on all these beautiful things that our teachers go through and have experienced, knowing that they've extended their academic year already.
Yo, teachers go through the most. Like, I think when you think back of Mhlambe, your primary school days and your
What kind of child were you?
I was the nerdy one. The quiet one. I was not that quiet one. The goody two shoes, you know.
I just imagined you. The class note, ma'am, I can answer that one.
I was legit that one, I remember. And, you know, I didn't have that whole banking classes. I was just that boring child. You know, when people actually have high school stories to tell, like, I went to house parties, I banked class, and just like, oh,
interesting.
Nice.
So were you that one that how many walks in and you have the homework done already and I'm asking for your book?
I was that
Our
one.
teachers go through the most, writing what you read like 15 times because we all took, our teachers go through the most. But let us take a look at our next story. Gautrain workers who are affiliated with NUMSA embark on a strike today, which started at 8 a.m. outside MBELE's office in Glen Austin in Midrand.
And the NUMSA spokesperson, Paramile Hlubumajola, said that the members would be on strike until the MBELE operating company engaged them meaningfully on their demands. And
Hlubumajola explained how the BOC refuses to negotiate wages with them and meet the 8% increase demand as opposed to the 4% as the company is offering to them.
Now, NUMSA's first demand was for a 30% wage increase, then 26%, and then 15%, and now they are sitting on 8%. And meanwhile, Gautrain is still running at a loss of about 100 million rand per month.
And take a look at the Gautrain spokesperson, Kasige Meya, said that the strike will be carried out on a no work, no pay basis as provisions in the Labour Relations Act.
And it was also then reported that the Gauteng operating schedules will be amended as not to cause an inconvenience to the commuters right there.
Gauteng, I didn't expect it. I think it was one of those strikes where you wake up and Gauteng is not available, and it's a matter. Gauteng is complaining, saying that they don't have money. They're at a tight stretch with finances, but demanding that workers take 4%. With no negotiations.
And with the 8%, it's that thing, like, you know, it's trying to actually now imagine how they've actually went down to an 8%, and to make sure that even the low incomes one, they can actually be accommodated, you know, but yeah, we see, at least though it's not a havoc right there, where we see that the daily operations of Gauteng, it's reported that every 30 minutes there'll be a Gauteng available, so that it's not inconveniencing any commuters. But actually now also going on a strike and saying still no pay as well. It's like we are trying to demand that for an increase, and then still when we actually want our voices to be heard, you still take it from us. So it's actually quite,
but I think if everyone at Gauteng was to go on a strike, therefore then it would understand. And that's why I every single time when we out researching, finding out the core root of the problem or the truth, is always a matter of if we stand united, therefore we can really get something out of the problem, whatever that we are complaining about, whatever thing that we're on strike with, as long as we're together in it, because we are not the only ones losing, but the company too is losing. But if there's someone operating the Gauteng for every 30 minutes, therefore those that are on strike, the
it means that not everybody is standing for one cause. I really do hear you. But do go on all our social media platforms right there and tell us what your comments are and what you are thinking of all the stories, and that all the stories that we are actually discussing right here. We're going to go for a quick commercial break right there, and when we come back, we're going to come back with more stories. We're going to touch on into that Egyptian story.
I'm still shocked.
Mummies inside.
I was like, Mummies was a movie, if I remember. And there was that whole scary vibe happening in the movie.
But it comes from somewhere. It's a real phenomenon.
Do you believe it?
I mean, if they found coffins, how
with
many ancient coffins with mummies inside, I mean, it means it's real. Don't you think it's real?
Guys, superpowers. Mummies.
Anyway, let's just go for a quick commercial break right here on the Midday Express. Stay tuned for more stories.
Make massive moves. Deceiver!
There isn't any time to waste then.
We can't save everyone in this war.
One moment, that's all we got.
You're locked in here with me.
Make massive moves with Starsight.
Anger boils over in El Dorado Park.
Make massive moves.
Corruption allegations have hit too close to the office of the president.
America is crying out for leadership.
I'm the president and you're fake news.
Donald Trump has already started his attacks.
It is clear from the development of the disease.
It is still the biggest annual decline in 100 years.
Make massive moves with Starsight.
And welcome back from the ad break. You're still watching Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network. As always, you can engage with us across every social media platforms. It is gun_TV on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook we are Galaxy Universal Network. Thank you very much for engaging and interacting with us. And behind the scenes, while we were on the ad break, I was getting schooled by RORISANG about what the mummy is all about, because for me it's just the movie. It's scary.
The movie, and it's actually something real that actually is there. You know, where in all Egyptian ways, they actually preserved the bodies of your kings and your queens, and to make sure they're preserved for
very long time.
To come.
And funny, I think a fun fact that you told me was that that process is called mummify. So they're wrapping them around.
Yes.
And I was like, the only mummy I know is the movie that I've watched.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. And I always say with movies, I feel like it's real concepts that people is just,
they rewrite and add the drama.
Some spices and some drama too, like you said, thinking of some magician things there. But yeah, it's a real concept.
But it's a beautiful one. If they could find all these things years later, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, so just getting into that story now. Egypt's Tourism and Antiques Ministry said on Saturday that archaeologists had unearthed at least 59 sealed sarcophagi with mummies inside in a vast necropolis south of the Egyptian capital.
And they continue to say that Egyptian antiquities officials had announced that they had discovered the discovery of the first batch of the coffins last month, which archaeologists found 13 of the containers in a newly discovered 11 meters deep well.
Imagine. And then it said that they had been buried in 3 wells for more than 2,600 years ago. 2,000 years ago.
Ah, guys, what world are we living in?
It's quite a beautiful
such beautiful history. Such beautiful history that is being found and documented, and it goes on to say that the ruins of these places were discovered at the UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1970s.
Yes.
So that's how old things dated back, and it's such history for us. I mean, if we're discovering these things in Egypt, what more have we not discovered?
Exactly.
Remember when they said that we can't rediscover things? There isn't more things to find.
Clearly,
when the dinosaurs were being discovered. Now they are coffins.
Clearly, we're just going back in time to actually discover where we come from. And I mean, we know Egypt stems way back in the Bible as well.
Yeah.
It's got a rich culture right there. So to still have things like this being discovered about the country as a whole is actually quite beautiful.
Our African continent is really finding a lot of things. And there are so many stories that we really need to deep in and really find out the truth of the matter. What is happening on the African continent? Because there's absolutely a lot.
Yes. Now, as we are now coming back to our own African countries, South Africa. We know there's been a lot of people handing themselves in, the Hawks arresting people right today. Now, in our developing story today, now a former policeman implicated in corruption relating to a multi-million rand police tender has handed himself over at the Central Police Station in Durban this morning.
Indeed, the investigating directorate has 2 outstanding warrants of arrest, one for a police captain and a former police commissioner in KwaZulu-Natal. This is in connection with a 47 million rands corruption matter, which is connected to the World Cup 2010 activities in KwaZulu-Natal.
And the man arrived at the police station with his attorney today in the morning. And another former officer was expected to hand himself over today at 9:30 a.m. and they'll both appear in the Durban Magistrates Court at 11:15 today in the a.m.s.
Now, as we know, the officers are accused of corruption linked to the 2010 FIFA World Cup police tenders involving about 47 million rand controversial businessman Toshan Pandey and Police Colonel Navin Ahmed, who appeared in the Durban Magistrates Court on Friday.
And it continues to say that all 4 have been charged with multiple counts of corruption, while 3 of them are facing 5 counts of fraud, 2 counts of forgery, and 1 count of altering when the person offers a genuine forged instrument with the intent to defraud a system. So corruption is a big one in South Africa, and I think it dates to 2010, the FIFA World Cup.
It's like they are wundling things from the past, and I think if you had thought that maybe you are not going to be caught, we're seeing right now with people that are being implicated, it's actually cases from way back, and it's coming to light right now. So I guess all they say that what is done in the dark always comes to light, I guess.
And it does, but I'm really shocked. 2010 World Cup was where our economy was supposed to be striving, and here that people were even then.
But of course,
corruption.
But you understand, of course, then there was a lot of money coming in to make sure that the FIFA World Cup happens.
But even with Corona, there's a lot of money.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where I think then there's a lot of corruption will happen there because there's a lot of money circulating. So obviously they think maybe they won't see if I take a 1,000 there and 1,000 there. And the thing is, it's millions of rands. It's never really 1,000, it's millions of rands. And to have 7 people are implicated in this such a case. But I guess we'll just see how
that story
unfolds right now, because as we know now, they are appearing in the court today for the bail application.
And they're handing themselves over.
That's another thing.
They are handing themselves, because they now know, Huri, it's child. It's done with them. And I think even with our authorities, the way that they can still go back to a case in 2010 and still find the culprits, finding even their own. That's another thing. These police officers are finding their own, and even those that were policemen are now handing themselves over, saying that just let justice be served.
At the end of the day, And now as we look into some of our international stories right there. Now, Storm Alex, which brought about fierce winds and torrential rain in France and northwest Italy, has left a number of villages in the north of France suffering serious damages from floods and landslides, with roads, bridges and homes destroyed.
And it continues to say that the storm also saw France's western Atlantic coast being destroyed, which caused thousands of homes to lose power.
Now, French Prime Minister Jean Castex has since deployed the army and released emergency funds to help with the tackling of what has been reported as the worst floods for decades in southeastern France.
And unfortunately for the country, at least 2 people have died, and up to 20 are still missing after the storm hit France.
I really think during these times we are seeing a lot of floods and a lot of fires and all of that. It's quite sad to have people losing lives due to that. And also, sorry, just they also say there's an elderly couple right there who actually saw their house just going down in the floods, and it's not, you can't really know what has happened to them at this time.
And I think another thing is that you can't even control it. You don't even know it's coming.
Natural disaster.
It's one of those things where the world is coming. What have we come down to? It's happening on the coast. I mean, people are losing homes, cars, lives. I mean, it's one of those things where there's nothing to say, but it's a natural disaster. Then they have to rebuild an economy, they have to rebuild lives, schools, churches, anything. It's a lot.
And now talking about water, right? So in one area, as we know, in France, unfortunately, it was a storm, and you know. But then we have now in China. Actually, people were actually amazed at now the tidal bore that actually took place right there. Now, this particular tidal bore on the river in the East China's province attracted a large number of tourists from across the country on Saturday, which was the 3rd day of the 8-day break for the National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival. And it continues that the bore traveled 55 kilometers from the East China Sea to reach Bangkok, one of the best viewing points of the bores of the river. Now, interesting fact actually that I wanted to touch on that is that the tidal bore is actually caused by the gravitational pull of the stars and the planets. The stars? The stars and the planets. What? Yes. So what's happening in the galaxies is affecting what's happening down here. That is a full-blown fact. Oh wow, but I guess it was a beautiful sight for them to see and to just capture all those moments. Yeah, you see everybody's just standing there with their phones out. And they're capturing. I thought people were going to run and be like, yo, the water's going to come to us. Me and you both. Because I legit thought that people are going to start running. Something bad is about to happen, because you can see a flood of water just maneuvering out in different ways. It was a beautiful sight to watch, but if it was me, I was running. I mean, I'm running. I was going to run. I was going to run right there. But let's just go for a quick ad break right here on the Midday Express. When we come back and talk to another teacher, you know, who's going to tell us about celebrating World Teachers Day. And we're going to have our amazing case in studio as well. Udash there is going to be telling us about what he does. Stay tuned on Midday Express. Don't you go anywhere.
Make massive moves.
Oh my God!
And WBC Continental America's champion. That was delightful.
Make massive moves with Starsat.
This is not your ordinary cooking show.
The show where we do all things amazing, all things African.
Over here, we educate.
Avocado seed, it lowers cholesterol, controls blood sugar and blood pressure.
We heal.
Impepho is good for your immune system as well. This here cures sugar, the blood sugar, blood pressure.
It's all about organic conversation.
So in here you've got yourself a nice vitamin C, you've got garlic, which is your natural antibiotic.
Oh wow.
I can't wait.
Great one. Be entertained. And purely African food.
And this is how you finish it up. With a slice of lemon, you just dig in and you eat and you get healthy.
Welcome to the home kitchen.
Coming soon on Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on StarSat.
Well, welcome back from the ad break. As always, you're watching Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network. As we promised you before we enter our ad break, that we'll be chatting to a teacher because we're also celebrating World Teachers Day in South Africa, but not only in South Africa, but throughout the world. And on the line, we are joined by Thabiseng, who is a teacher. Good afternoon, Thabiseng. How do you do?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Well, take me through your love for teaching. When did it start, and what grade are you teaching?
I'm a grade 3 teacher, a foundation-based teacher, and my love for teaching started when I was in high school.
Yo, Thabiseng, I must say, like grade 3, like I am thinking already, you know, all I'm thinking when you say grade 3, I'm thinking, mistress, see, this one did this, mistress, this one did that. Now just walk me through. I can imagine. So just walk me through maybe some of your highlights when you're in the classroom and with your learners, and also some of the challenges you actually face with the little ones.
Basically, what we do as grade 3 teachers is that we get them used to a routine. So they know that in the morning they have to follow their timetable, check the weather, look at the weather outside, talk about the weather, talk about their personal experiences. So in that way, when they talk about their personal experiences, we integrate them into our learning. So we follow timetables, whereby we do mathematics, life skills, languages, which they enjoy very much, by the way. And yeah, basically we teach them everything from the start. So when you say it's very hectic to be a grade 3 teacher, I understand, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's an accountant, and she said if it were up to her, she would become a cleaner, not a teacher, because it is very hard to teach learners.
I can imagine.
Laying a foundation is very hard because we teach them how to write, we teach them how to read, and it is very, very critical that at that stage you do things correctly, because if your foundation is very shaky, then obviously the teacher will be shaky too.
That is so beautiful. I mean, I'm just imagining grade 3 students still learning how to write using a blue pen, because my first time when I use a blue pen,
you transition from a pencil to a pen in grade 3.
Yes, because grade 4 is coming, because you have to know your timetable, everything. But take me through that day you decided, I'm getting this degree in education and this is what I love, I want to teach. And probably, do you feel that our system or our parliament, the people that are making the decisions, do you feel that they look at teachers and they see the work that you're putting in place?
I think teaching is a privilege, and as a foundation-based teacher, I always remind myself that we are laying a foundation for great leaders.
Yes.
Therefore, when I started doing this degree, I wanted to make a difference in my community and in the society and in a black child's life, to say that I want them to have a great future, because remember that teaching is the umbrella of our profession. So basically, we are the ones who make engineers become what they are. We are the ones who make doctors become what they are. So because without a teacher, then there is no doctor. Therefore, I feel as though when I had this degree and when I studied for this degree, I wanted to make a difference out there in my community and in the society. And I feel as though we are not recognized enough by the government, because firstly, teachers are like people who work for. I don't even want to make a comparison at this point, but teachers are not recognized by the society, by the community, and by the government.
No, something we recognize.
A lot should be done to recognize teachers. Firstly, starting by their salary. Even though teachers are in the middle class, but teachers should be recognized by their salary. You know, we should be given something that shows that we are recognized as people who have degrees and who studied for so many years.
And I really think it's a good point to actually raise right there. You know, I am not for the notion that being a teacher is a calling, because as you know, teachers are actually psychologists, they are nurses. I mean, when the kids go to, they are everything in one, because you know, a kid goes there, they are hungry, they're sick. So I really think, like you say, more needs to be done to actually commend you for the great work that you do. But we appreciate you right here in Galaxy Universal Network on the Midday Express show, and that's why we are celebrating as a teacher today and saying all the best, and we see you and we really appreciate all the amazing work that you're doing.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh man, what a beautiful one.
Yes.
Oh man, teachers warm my heart, honestly.
Indeed. And as we are talking about warming hearts, you know me. Okay, just before we move on into our story, now let's just see the incredible work that teachers actually do, teaching us how to read and write and all of those things. Let's just have a look at that video right there.
Where Teachers Keep Their Pets by Paul Cookson. Mrs. Cox had a fox nesting in her curly locks. Mr. Sprat's tabby cat sleeps beneath his bobble hat. Miss Cahoots has various newts swimming in her zip-up boots. Mr. Spry has Freddy's fly eating food stains from his tie. Mrs. Groat shows off a stoat round the collar of her coat. Mr. Spare's got grizzly bears hiding in his spacious flares. And Mrs. Vickers has a stick insect called stickers that no one's ever
Hey, articulation.
Yeah, you're out here reading, doing the things that makes
because of a teacher. I mean,
when you warm up to teachers, yes, your energy the whole day has been about teachers.
My mother is a teacher.
Oh, that's why.
I come from both parents have like an educational background, so yeah, you know. So I was a child that I was forced to learn. That's why I was a nerd at school. But anyway.
That's why I even speak this way. Sihua was from birth.
I was forced, unfortunately. Now, talking about stories that actually, warm our hearts.
Yes.
Now, Toronto lawyer Annemie Paul was on Saturday was on Saturday named the head of the Green Party, making her the first black woman to lead a national political party in Canada.
And the 47-year-old mother of two, the daughter of immigrants from Caribbean, described herself as a descendant of slaves.
Yes, and Paul described her victory as a historic moment during her speech after the announcement of the results of the internal ballot in Ottawa.
And Paul added in his speech that the colonialism has robbed her original identity, saying that she was ready to support Indigenous people, in particular in the fight against systematic racism within the police force.
Now, she succeeds Elizabeth May, who led the Greens for 13 years before stepping down at the end of 2019 following a federal legislative election where her party won only 3 seats in the House of Commons.
And that's a beautiful one. And she continued to say that under her leadership, the party would have 2 priorities: building a social security net for all Canadians and tackling all the existence of a crisis within our time, which is a climate emergency, and making sure that she continues all these beautiful strides within Canada.
I actually have a beautiful video right there of her just talking on the matter. Let's just have a look.
There is no question that we are facing the 2 defining challenges of our time. How will we build a complete social safety net that allows every person in Canada to live in dignity and security? And how will we tackle the existential crisis of our time, which is the climate emergency? When I think about the social safety net, again, I think about my father, but I also think about every single student that is not going to be able to go back to school this year because they didn't get the jobs they needed this summer and because the government didn't provide them with universal post-secondary education. When I think about the climate emergency, for instance, I think about the people who have to decide whether they need to leave their homes because the insurance will no longer cover them because they live on a floodplain that is being ravaged by extreme weather events. I think of the fires that seared the throats of many of our team members in British Columbia out west just a couple of weeks ago. And I think of my brother Michael, who until recently was a worker in Alberta's oil patch and working as a roughneck, and all of the members of his crew who are tired of the boom and bust cycle that has associated itself with our continuous thirst for fossil fuel extraction and his desire to have a job with a real...
How many in Bogota we are taking over? We are taking over the world. And I think you better watch out. As women, we are.
Was that as you alone with me? You are taking over because literally your excitement. And I think that I'm learning all these things through the stories about you. That all the small things excite you. They make you so. And you said that, oh man, women are doing it, and you're almost in tears. And I was like, Rosa, what's happening? You're like, this is such a beautiful
for all women out there. And I think especially Black women to show that it's possible. You know, we are changing the narrative. We are out there to tell our own stories as the Black nation. We're taking over, and I think it's a beautiful sight to see. It's a really, really beautiful sight to see, and to be seeing it happening in Canada. You know, it's amazing. I'm lost for words.
I see you.
I'm lost for words.
Just cry like you did. But hey, right here in studio, we are also joined by our amazing feature of the day as always, and he's a rapper, he's an artist, he's a producer, he's many things, jack of all trades, and he's joining us today. And there's a question that I was told that my co-host RORISANG is going to ask him later on, and he is Dash the Hash. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Oh man,
it's really nice to be here.
So Dash, just to take this question out the way, I just wanted to know, are you Dash because you've got a gap?
Nah,
it's not even related, nothing.
It's not even related.
Right.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, please then tell us the story behind the name Dash Hash.
Okay, I found the name Dash when I was doing grade 10 because I lost my portfolio, life orientation portfolio. So I can speak Zulu, ne?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So menyerwami taxi, so I didn't have a portfolio. So every day in the morning it was like Dash. Dash every day. Sometimes I figure I'm young and then and they just say say Dash. So that's how I found the name Dash. But I used to look up to people like Brown Dash. I used to look up to Spoke Sage. Spoke Sage, I always wondered what the H is for, you know, because I looked up to them, those kind of music. I do music because of those people. So I always wondered what's that hash. You know, sometimes it feels like I was meant to be Dash. You know? So when I took the H, because there's this song LT at the Smash on the Smash Hash, and I did something, and then my friends started calling me. They said Dash Hash on the Dash, and that's how I took the name. I said, okay, Dash Hash, okay, maybe it could work because there was Dash, but no one is Dash Hash.
Absolutely beautiful, and it's quite a story narrated through how you got Dash from high school grade 10, missing your portfolio, and the teacher wanted to score it in, and I was like, yo, I'm just Dash, yo. There's nothing there. But take me through your look. I mean, a person look at you, you don't look like your ordinary South African hip-hop artist or an artist from South Africa. Now, when I saw you, I thought of Stomp the Yard, the movie, like you're about to do the gumboots thing right here.
Nah. You know, I had dreams as a kid. You know, I wanted to be, I always watch like superhero movies, you know, things like that. So I had dreams like me. I wanted to be a superhero. Sometimes I wish like I can fly and save people and save who and who, you know. So me being like this or looking like this or having this in my head, it's just things that like I dreamed of as a kid. So now I'm kind of, you know, I'm just living it.
Reliving
you know, I used to play arcade games, ne? Street Fighter. I always wondered what Ken and Ru, they always wear this, and when they wear this, like young tall, and then and another thing I used to watch. I'm a fan of Rambo. Rambo movies. You know, Rambo would like
every single fight.
Yeah, like he would get captured and tortured somewhere, and then after that, hey. And then he starts, you know,
That excited you from that.
So wow. Yeah, I always feel like I'm somehow meant to be like
a superhero. Not just walk us through your musical journey, where it actually started and where you are right now, and tell us maybe about some of the performances, maybe any form of tracks or again albums that you have.
I did a lot of things. Okay, let me start from scratch. I started doing music in 2013. I was doing grade 12. That's where I started, like, it started as a little thing, like writing alone, listening to a beat, you know, and then alone. Nobody told me. I just felt like, okay, let me just write, because I'm kind of an emotional person and I don't talk.
Wearing an emotional t-shirt.
You know? So yeah, it started from there, but as I'd make it like short, as it's Kati Samba, and then I realized that music is something that's big. You can change a person's life with music. You can change a kid's life. If Rick Ross says, I'm a boss, and then you listen to the song and you believe, I'm a boss. You know, so I started, and I'm so socially conscious. I like as cooler, and then you realize a lot of things. You know, earlier back on, I told you I look up to Joshua Mapong.
Yes.
You know, that man kind of inspires me. You know, everything he says makes sense. You know, so yeah, people like that, not him only, but people like that. So I kind of, even the things that I feel, because I look at the things that are happening in Kaslam, in Donaldson, down, and but it's down in Limpopo. In Limpopo, even right now, I'm from there right now. So yeah, there's the things that are happening in Kaslam, you know. I feel like more music I can change, you know. I can, you know, the things, because music is big. Music changes people's lives, like how a person thinks. You know, if I'm dressed like this, a kid would look up to me. A kid would want to listen to what is this guy
body of work that you do.
You know,
So I just want us to go to, like, you speak about music changing people's perspective, right? What differentiates your music from the rest? What message is it that you're trying to actually give out through your hip hop genre?
Mina, I strongly believe that black people are pressed down. You know, that's how I feel, and you know, I'm born in a place where, okay, we are on black kids, you know, and then I always wondered, why there's why I'm not being racist, né? But I always wondered, why does a black person
speak your mind.
So it kind of drove me to okay, what was the question?
That what differentiates your music from the rest, and what message is it that you're trying to actually convey to the next person?
Nobody's talking about the things that I want to talk about. You know?
Which are?
I feel like, you know, it's all parties. It's all like girls. It's all like, let's go to the club and let's drink, you know, and listen to this as long as snacks. You know, ever since democracy to now, it feels like, even I feel like we free, but we're not free as black people. You know, the kind of.
I think he's holding back, because I think your brain at this point,
it's all over.
But take me through. I think RORISANG is on something where your music speaks something that is not being spoken about. And is it a social thing? Is it social issues? Is it empowerment?
You know?
Is it black pro? Are you just saying that black child or black person, you can and you will? What's that drive with your music?
You know, I feel like, okay, there are people who are supposed to like to change the place, you know. where I come from, people who have money, but they tend to go to a club and then do like these things like a Kaslam, there is not even a wall. Like sketch, like a drama and all that. There's not that. You know, there's a lot of things. There's a a lot of things, and back on and I remember this one time, like my heart was broken. I was from a gig, Kibeli Padko Pass, I was going home, and in Pitori Mangula, they were like white kids, ne? They were playing like was sports, and then when I got home, I found like 12-year-olds, beer, and then they were smoking, like, you know.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to talk about. This is what it's in my heart.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I'm not chasing. You know, God. I'm a spiritual person. I know God will bless me with everything. But me now, what I want to talk about is that. Yeah. There are people who are able to do those kind of things or empower children and all that, because children are the future.
Yes.
You know, if you know. If me driving polo and then Kibeza about me every time, and then, you know, him buzzing because I'm blind.
Yeah.
You know, it looks up to you once you do that.
And they see that as an achievement.
And what is that doing to us? You know, it's in the you know, that's what I want to do.
So through your music, let's say you want a young kid that listens to your music to actually want to inspire to change and be the change that's needed.
Exactly.
That's what I'm getting.
Exactly.
And I'm running out of words because I have goosebumps all over me to find someone who's consciously saying that, sure thing I'll make the money, sure thing I'll be successful. I know that God got me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it's not just for me, it's for the community. But you are this young man that you are from a small community and just being so powerful about where you come from. But what is that dream then? I mean, a sure thing you're going to be successful, but what is that dream, aside from all the projects you want to do, what is that dream for Wayne as an individual?
You know, I always wanted to be the greatest person, like to be remembered. You know, is that, you know, Busova Mandela, when you look at Imali Lap and then see Mandela, I want to be like that. You know, I always wanted to be. And when I found music, I feel like, that's the one. And when I remember the first time I performed, and then like the audience, how it like received, you know, I wasn't like grown because you are cool with music, everything, you know, when you do it, like now when you continue doing it, we are cool like you, and, you know, you start finding like some powers, and and then I feel like I'm grown now, and God like finally, like in my producer, he listens to me, he knows what I want, you know. That's how I always wanted to be the greatest person, to be remembered as someone who changed like some parts of the world, you know.
That I'm gonna put you on the spot right now.
Okay, cool.
Could you give us a few lines from one of your singles and just freestyle it?
There's a song that I'm dropping, it's called Ubaba Geko. I featured my little sister.
What?
She sings. It's dropping on Friday. These are the lines. It's in. Oh, Mama Baskulisi, never seen our fathers before, but some of us we have seen. Bebanganas cut yet, or they had some time to go drink, but never time to be home. Mawzoti Babanyak Ding, a coachly sing a fiber, but as we grew, we have seen that it was planned long ago. Sibzulu Flung speak, till this day we enjoy, and till this day we believe that our strength is from God. That's why the color of our skin is intimidating them all. A generation with keys, we're coming for all the doors. We are all walking kings, made in an image of God. They told us that we are weak, even though they know we are strong, and kept us in locations and made sure they far from us all. We are just a bunch of bees, we hanik dala ya ball. Velenatis bokanda shis, aboko kubakon. We should be taking the lead to them with just piccolos, but it having in a piece. They won't say Xasa wakon. Zbizana ya semzini svalelana no mas knock. Isn't just sali suit, kotas jela no mon.
Amazing.
Come on.
Okay.
That is the message behind the song. The message behind the song, and it's the reality that most young people in South Africa face. There is daddy issues. You are
Done. I want drops mic. No,
that's it.
That was a good one.
Like Mr. B, I don't know.
But it's like a snippet of what's happening on Friday. I mean, the song is dropping on Friday, featuring your younger sister and showing that dreams are possible. And thank you for the message. Thank you for the message. Honestly, where it's a matter of fathers aren't fathers. You know, they aren't there. They are not present, but they are there because of money issues. Now, if I buy here's 1 rand, now 2 rand, and they disappear.
You know, you wanna open up to your father, and then I'm busy, or maybe even no mahamba. You know, those kind of things. You need a father figure. You need a father figure. My identity, which okay, Babu and then uzohamba 30 days, and then comes back weekend, young end of, and then in Sunday or Monday we are hamba. You know.
That father's love.
Oh, man.
It's all we need.
Yeah, it's all we need. It's all we need. Because, as I said, you know, things if you start grooming a kid, you won't grow up like this. That's what I want to say.
Deep, I must say. Now tell us, where can people actually get a hold of you, all your social media platforms, and where can they get hold of your amazing work?
Or check me out, go Instagram, it's @_hash. Instagram @_hash. Go Twitter, it's @yase_vrandini. @yase_vrandini. Facebook, it's _hash. And then go to my YouTube channel, it's _hash. Subscribe and like and check out the work out there.
I mean, I am more than. I am taken. I am grand. Democha, because I feel like you are a WHP in one. I feel like you are a Zola 7. If you remember Luandle, that song, that's like a reminder to me that our music is still.
Even to me, there's that kwaito, you know. You know, I always love those kind of people. They made, you know, Spoke Sage like music work with like both Dala and guitar and Beakuluma like reality, you know, Paul is I used to love that track.
Sure.
You know, So.
Well, thank you so much, Dash. Unfortunately, that's all we had. But thank you so much for inspiring us.
Thank you for the platform, guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Mzansi Africa. Everybody watching right here on Midday Express, and you're on Galaxy Universal Network. What a beautiful conversation that we had with Dash Hash right here about the song, the music, all that he's doing. But for myself, MBELE, and
before we close, just remember that now COSATU is having a press briefing right today, and we are calling for all workers to stay at home tomorrow, and just look out for that press briefing, and we'll have more developments on the COSATU strike happening tomorrow. And for myself, RORISANG, TSHWANE, and of course our fantastic guest today, Dash. Catch us again, same time, same place tomorrow.
Adios.
Bye.